Welcome to Lingua Latina, Chapter 15, Grammatica Latina. In this section, you are introduced to all of the four conjugations in the present active indicative. You should be able to conjugate any of those verbs on the right-hand side here. Clamo, rideo, dico. You should be able to add the endings in from memory and chant those endings. So clamo, clamas, clamat, clamamus, clamates, clamat, rideo, rides, ridet, ridemus, ridetis, rident, etc. And you should be able to do that for all the verbs in the margin. Whenever you get a new form, you should memorize those endings and be able to conjugate. So you'll need flashcards work well for that. If you have 3 8x5 cards, you could write in those conjugations, and there are online programs that will drill you in those form creation, which should be a regular part of your Latin study. So right now what I'm going to do, I have just enough time to read through and translate some of this Latin so you get a sense of how the verbs work in all of the persons and numbers. So we've got personae, whereby the persons of the verbs. The boys are laughing. The girl does not laugh. The boys: why are you not laughing when we are laughing? The girl: I am not laughing because you are laughing at me. Rideo, ridemus is called the first person, singular and plural. Rides, ridetis, the second person. Ridet, rident, the third person. And then you have the conjugation. Examples: clamo, clamamus, rideo, ridemus, dico, dicamus, facio, facimus, audio, audimus. So I shout, we shout. I laugh, we laugh. I say, we say. I do, we do. I hear, we hear. The reason you have 2 here for the third conjugation is that dico, dicamus is regular third. Facio, facimus is called third io. And so the I shows up in different forms. Malus discipulus. A bad student shouts in school and laughs. The one who does not do this or that and hears all the words of his teacher is a good student. A good student says to the bad one, I am a good student. In school I don't shout, nor do I laugh, and I hear all the words of the teacher. But you are a bad student. In school you shout and you laugh, nor do you hear the words of the teacher. I am speaking the truth. Don't you do this. The bad student says, what you say is not true. I do not do this. Bad students shout in school and laugh. Shout and laugh in school. Those who don't do that and hear all the words of the teacher are good students. Good students say to the bad ones, we are good students. In school we don't shout nor do we laugh, and we hear all the words of the teacher. But you guys are bad students. In school you laugh and you shout and you laugh, nor do you hear the words of the teacher. We are speaking the truth. Don't you do this. The bad students say, what you say is not true. We don't do this or that. This here. More charts on the left of verbs you should be able to conjugate. Sum est est, sum est sunt, you should be able to conjugate. And here are just the endings themselves that you would add to the various, the 4 conjugations. So here we have like clamo, clamamus are declined the verbs of which the infinitive ends in are. Like rideo, ridemus are declined the verbs whose infinitive ends in ere. Like dico, dicamus are declined the verbs whose infinitive ends in ura, except that which has an I before the O and unt, like facio, faciunt. So there are a few of those, and those are called the ios. Like accipere, to accept, aspicere, to catch sight of, capere, to seize or grab, etc. Like audio, audimus are declined the verbs whose infinitive ends in ira, except the verb ire itself, eo ira, to go, which has its own conjugation. And there are likewise the other forms of ira listed here. Read the rest of this together. Read through this in Latin and in English at least 3 times, and I'll see you in the exercises.